November 12, 2001. New York City is a city living in a nightmare. It's been exactly 2 months and 1 day since the Twin Towers fell. The air is still thick with grief, and every time a plane flies overhead, people hold their breath. Suddenly, at 9:16 a.m., a massive fireball erupts over Queens. A giant tail fin falls from the sky into Jamaica Bay, followed by 2 engines and a fuselage. Panic turns into terror. Is it happening again? Is America under attack? Again? Fighter jets scramble, the FBI moves in, and the world stops. But the truth behind American Airlines Flight 587 is far more terrifying than a bomb. It was a disaster born from a single, fatal foot pedal. JFK Airport, 9:14 a.m. Flight 587, an Airbus A300, is lined up for takeoff. On board are 260 people, families, children, and people going home to the Dominican Republic. Among them is Hilda Yolanda Mayol. Just 8 weeks ago, she had miraculously escaped the North Tower on 9/11. She thought she was the luckiest woman on Earth. She had no idea she was about to board the second deadliest flight in US history. Ahead of them, a massive Japan Airlines 747 takes off. It leaves behind a wake, an invisible, swirling tornado of air. The tower warns, "Caution, wake turbulence." Captain Ed states and First Officer Sten Moline acknowledge. They've done this 1,000 times. But today, the sky is a trap. As the Airbus climbs, it hits the first ripple of turbulence. A light shake. No big deal. But 15 seconds later, they hit the second wave. The plane rolls violently. First Officer Moline, a pilot trained to be aggressive in emergencies, stomps on the rudder pedals. Left, right, left, right. Inside the cabin, it's absolute carnage. In the cockpit, the CVR captures a sickening sound, a loud metallic crack. Moline screams, "What the hell are we into? We're stuck in it!" The plane isn't just shaking anymore, it's disintegrating. The force is so violent that the vertical stabilizer, the massive tail fin, is literally torn off the aircraft. Without its tail, the Airbus A300 is no longer a plane. It's a 150-ton projectile. It enters a flat spin, nosediving toward a residential neighborhood. The G-forces are so extreme that both engines are ripped clean off the wings. People on the ground in Belle Harbor look up and see a plane without a tail, dropping engines like bombs. There is no time to pray. There is no time to say goodbye. At 9:16 a.m., 103 seconds after takeoff, Flight 587 slams into the ground at 250 miles per hour. The impact is a hellscape. But this is where our story changes. Belle Harbor is a neighborhood of heroes. It's home to hundreds of NYPD officers and FDNY firefighters. These men had spent the last 60 days digging through the rubble of Ground Zero. They were exhausted, traumatized, and mourning their friends. But as the fire consumed the houses, these heroes didn't run away. Off-duty firefighters ran into the flames in their t-shirts. Police officers used their bare hands to pull neighbors from burning debris. In the midst of New York's darkest hour, the spirit of the bravest rose again. They couldn't save the plane, but they fought like hell to save their neighborhood. The FBI quickly rules out terrorism. No explosives, no shrapnel. The NTSB finds the tail fin in the water, perfectly intact. This was the shocker. The plane hadn't failed. The pilot had. investigators discovered that American Airlines training program taught pilots to use the rudder aggressively during turbulence. Moline wasn't a villain, he was a victim of his own training. He thought he was saving the plane, but the Airbus A300's rudder was so sensitive that his rapid movements created a pendulum effect. He literally snapped the tail off with his own feet. The crash of Flight 587 changed aviation forever. Training manuals were rewritten. Rudder systems were redesigned. But for the 265 victims, the lesson came too late. We remember the heroes of Belle Harbor who ran into the fire. We remember Hilda Yolanda Mayall, the woman who survived 9/11 only to be taken by the sky 2 months later. It's a reminder that in the world of aviation, there is no room for error, not even a small one. If you want to see more true investigations that changed history, hit that subscribe button. Because every crash has a story, and every story has a lesson.